as a surgery nurse or as an OR nurse, depending on what you want to call me, I tend to think like 20 steps ahead because that's how my mind works. And the reason that I mentioned that is because in the credits of the last episode where I had said Gavin has not sent me anything yet, that was in reference to the next trading block, which is coming up. So he had definitely sent me the stuff for week 11 because it happened to be my recovery week. When I was filming the last episode, I was already halfway through the recovery week. My brain just sort of farted at that point. So apologies for any confusion. So with that out of the way, let's review the week. Hi friends! So this is my series where I take you through my marathon training for the Chicago Marathon on October 10th with the goal of breaking 3:48. So Monday I ran with CSRD. I had tried to time it a little bit better as far as starting my run early and trying to end it with the group. I think my timing worked out a little bit better because when I finished, I only had 4 minutes left. I think I'm getting close to hitting the sweet spot of how far to go out and back. That way I can finish running with the group. So maybe the next trading block at some point I'll be able to finish with the group, but we'll see. It felt pretty good to have a little bit less time to run on my own at the end because I was able to chat with my friends afterwards, and that is always super nice. 7.66 miles during that session. Again, I was running faster, but not so crazy fast that I gassed myself out for the next day. So Track Tuesday, it was the reverse pyramid session again. Typically when I do the reverse pyramids, I'm just like, yeah, it's not 3 minutes and da-da-da-da, and it's based on distance and not on time. But the problem with this big session was this was after 3 days of a pretty high volume, at least for me. Putting that much mileage on my legs for a speed workout, that definitely made me go a little bit slower. But I think at the end of the day, I got it done. And that's all that matters. And there was a guy who was there last week, and he came back this week. And then we passed each other on the track, and we gave them, as you do when you see a runner that you run into multiple times going around the same route. And so we were kind of alternating during our rep and then recovery, and we kept passing each other. But what was funny, we were at times kind of chasing each other down the track, just out of the implicit competition that comes up between two people who were on the same straightaway. I had gone on my Strava, I was commenting about the guy. Later on, I got a request saying, so-and-so started following you on Strava. I'm like, who is this schmuck that followed me on Strava? And then I had scrolled down, and it turned out that that guy was tagged in the workout. And if you're on Strava, you know that happens. It turns out he's training for Berlin. So I think I might have a new track buddy. So we'll probably be there Tuesday. So again, we can just practice chasing each other down and working on our kicks. I did have an upper body workout that I had to do later in the day. And I say upper body because I didn't want to do lower body. And trying to keep in line with what Gavin wants me to do to kind of as a compromise for not doing his gym sessions because he knows I'm doing my own workouts. I ended up doing the calf raises that he wanted me to do, and I also did the hip flexor exercises. In our last call, he had mentioned that he didn't want me to neglect those two areas because I was working pretty much every other muscle on my leg except those two. So hopefully by incorporating those two exercises in, that'll help fill any gaps in my strength and conditioning training. And then Wednesday was a rest day. And Thursday I did a run commute, just a cruise session, which was super nice because the past few weeks I've been doing the critical speed sessions. So it was nice to be able to just kind of plug along. And I did end up having to run a little bit further than I normally do at the end to do an out and back to make up the difference. Ended up running about 8.21 miles. Friday was a rest day. Wasn't really much of a rest day because at the end of the day, like after work, I did end up hitting 10,000 steps because I was doing a pretty decent amount of walking at work because I was circulating that day and not just standing, which is a nice change of pace because I have been scrubbing a lot. And then Saturday, I actually was able to run with CSRD because I hadn't been able to do that the past few weeks because I was doing 20-mile runs. And so I ran with my coworker who he registered for the rock and roll, so he's slowly working up like his mileage, and we were able to run 14 miles together. We ended up going from the Mo High to Golden Gardens and back. I learned on Saturday there is no such thing as slow running. there is sexy running. And my friends who were running together, in honor of my friend, it was her 32nd birthday, so she ran 32 kilometers. She said, we're going a very sexy pace, like super sexy pace. So Sunday, I ended up running to Golden Gardens, and then I went along the Brook Gilman, and then I just did the last like couple miles up the hill. So about 7.5 miles. That session, it felt pretty good. My legs felt pretty okay. They weren't as fatigued as they usually are, probably because I was going at a super cruise pace. And what also helped was I was listening to Pillars, which is a podcast by Dylan Bowman, and I listened to an episode where he was interviewing Jim Walmsley, and it really kept me distracted. Not that the run was bad or anything. It was a pretty decent run, but it helped keep my mind occupied in a much different way. So overall, the week was pretty good. My left Achilles, which has been bothering me for like the past few weeks, I think it's getting better, because it was bothering me Monday because of my shoes, but with my Brooks Glycerin GTS 19, which I wear for my long runs now, I seem to not have that problem. So I think maybe it's just a matter of retiring my Hyperion tempos, which I really don't want to do because they're really nice. And this next training block, which I got over the weekend, it's going to be a pretty big one in terms of volume. I thought that Gavin would be bumping up the mileage again as far as like the Saturday runs, but when he uploaded my block, it turns out that he was gonna use these next 2 training blocks to build me up for the half marathon, which I guess is kind of nicer because I don't have to worry about getting up to a crazy volume, but I could be wrong because I'll be doing 18 on next Saturday, so I have no idea what the future holds. So if you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Social media links are in the description. Until next time, bye!